Alright, welcome to today's, the next video. I'm logging in with my brother Jack. We're going to do some NFL talk about the big games this week, fantasy starts, all that good stuff. And also, if there's any questions you guys have or anything you want to see us talk about, anything you're curious about NFL-wise, just feel free to do it on the stream or contact us another way if you're able to. So, let's get started. So, Jack, I'm gonna ask you something, okay? Who do you think is a player that you think people should start in
Oh,
fantasy?
we have a question.
Oh, wow, that was
From
really
Tills 10. Why is there a bagel in your video?
Why? Oh, that's a very good question.
I don't know why.
But
I don't see a bagel. I'm not sure what Tills 10 is talking about.
I don't know about you, but I see a bagel right there, and you know what? This bagel knows a lot about football, so that's why he's in this video. This is one. So yeah, there's the bagel. So that's the answer to the first question, being the first question. But NFL related bagel, I mean Jack, what do you think? Who do you think is one player that is a fantasy must start? You have to have this player in your lineup.
I feel like Hopkins, he's been having a lot of great catches, and like throughout his whole career in football, he's been having those big hands.
He does have very big hands.
Yeah.
A lot of receivers. But I'm going against Hopkins. What the heck? But I agree. I think he's one of the best receivers in the game. He's been underrated for a long time. But
And Drew Brees is having a wonderful.
yeah, and the Saints haven't lost till week 1, so I think Brees and Hopkins are 2 ones. I really think Texans receiver Demaryius Thomas, if you have him, you should definitely start him because he didn't get any catches last week. And I don't really think that's what the Texans wanted because that's not what they traded for him for. So I really think if you have Demaryius Thomas, start him and expect him to have a big game. And speaking of big games, Jack, what game this week do you think is like the biggest game, like the game to watch? Because we've got a lot of good ones. I'll pull them up, but we've got 3 tomorrow on Thanksgiving. As
I feel like
as he's waiting for me to pull up the game because he doesn't know when any of the games are. Go ahead, just run over this.
I'm going to say like Green Bay and the Vikings.
Oh, for sure.
I'm guessing it's going to be kind of close, yeah.
Because Green Bay really needs that game if they want to
Yes.
keep pace with the NFC North. Because the Bears are currently leading that game. They're 7-3. Green Bay is 4-5-1. So they've got their work cut out for them. They do play the Bears once. They already beat them once. So Green Bay's got their work cut out for them if they want to beat the Bears or at least get in the playoffs. But what we've seen from Green Bay so much is they fool us and they say, oh, they're done. Mike McCarthy's on his way out, which if they don't get better, they very well could be. But I think that we cannot count the Packers out yet. And I know a lot of you guys watching might be Bears fans. I know you're worried about the Vikings right now, but don't count out the Packers. You know it all too well what Aaron Rodgers could do, what that team could do if they get hot. So I really think that NFC North division is still wide open, and even for Detroit, if they can win tomorrow, they get back to 5-6. So Detroit's not really out of this either. So the NFC North is completely wide open. But my prediction, I think the Green Bay Packers will pull it out. I think they've got a tough schedule, but I think this is the part of the season where the Green Bay Packers do what they do. It's where Aaron Rodgers plays his best football from late into the season and into the playoffs. I'm not saying the Packers are going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think that they are a caliber team. Do you have some questions coming in, Jack? For you yet? No.
We should
I've got a lot of questions here. Wow. So I don't even know if I'm gonna have time for all these, but I've got some questions from my friend Jordan here. So first one, oh, there's a lot of these. Wow.
You can also say, Jordan, just go on. Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's a headlock.
Yeah, so let's get started. Are the Giants on a late run for the playoffs, or will they fall again? I think the Giants. I mean, that NFC East division is technically still wide open, but I really don't see the Giants making a legitimate push. They might win a few more games, but I don't think they're going to go 9-7 and win out as Odell Beckham predicted. I think Philadelphia beats the Giants on Sunday, so I don't think the Giants are going to make a late run. I think they'll play hard, and Eli Manning will definitely be playing his hardest, knowing this could be his last season in the Giants uniform. But I don't really I don't really think that the Giants are really going to do anything much this season. I don't think they're going to get into the playoffs. Long story short. And no, did you have some questions from somebody else?
No, I read the next question from there.
Will you read it? I'll answer it. Okay.
So I'll read the question. So question number 8. What is up with the Falcons?
That
I'm
is
not
a-
sure what he really means by that.
Well,
But
what's up with them? They've lost 2 games in a row, and they started out 1-4, but a lot of those losses were close losses. So I cut them some slack, and I was like, okay, you lost to the Saints in overtime, you lost to the Eagles late in the game, you lost to the Bengals late in the game. So I cut them some slack. But now, after these last two games against the Browns and the Cowboys, which they both lost, I don't know. Their offense is not producing enough. We're used to thinking, oh, Matt Ryan, top quarterback, Julio Jones, top receiver, and then they got Calvin Ridley in the mix. I mean, part of it could be Devonta Freeman's out for the year, so that really hurt them. But if you really think about it, their offense is not producing. That's the problem. They're not putting up enough points. You're not going to win games kicking field goals down the stretch. So that's what's up with them. Their offense is not producing. No, it's my turn.
no, I want to straight on question then. That's 9. Best offense. So like, what team do you think has the best offense in the league?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I'll name my 3 top ones, and then I'll pick my number 1 one. This isn't just by statistics, and I didn't go look. This is just generally from what I see. And what I see is, I think the Chiefs, the Saints, and the Rams are the top 3. But I think out of those,
The Rams.
yes, for sure, for
That's
sure.
mine.
No, I agree. Because after Monday night, how could it be anyone else? The Rams have so many weapons, and they're the best offense in the NFL. Because you look at Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, everyone is producing for them, and they can put up points left and right against good teams. Like they scored 54 points against a one-loss team, and they're a very complete team. So that's why they're doing so good, and that's why they're gonna do a lot in the playoffs.
Next question is best defense. So
Ooh.
I have to say for mine, Bears are doing pretty good on defense, and I'm guessing they could stop a lot of teams in the league. But if they verse like some really good teams, they wouldn't be able to pull out the good defense. I mean, and Mac is just making like a lot of sacks and is like most of their defense. So
The Bears are up there, but they're not number 1.
okay.
I really think you got to give number 1 to. I think it's very close between a couple teams. I think it's ultimately the Saints because they have improved so much over previous years. And it used to be like, oh, they had a great offense but an iffy defense, but now I think they have a complete defense and they're finding ways to win lots of games.
And best special teams. I mean, not a lot. I don't really pay attention to the special teams, so I'm gonna let Ryan handle this one.
You know, that's interesting because people think, oh, special teams doesn't matter, right? But really, punters have a huge impact on field position. Kickers have a huge impact on essentially the outcome of games. So I just kind of think from what I see, you know, I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is it, Chiefs, because I feel like they have Tyreek Hill, who's a insanely awesome weapon for the return game, and I feel like Harrison Butker can make kicks on a regular basis.
Question number 12 is Rams defense good enough to win the Super Bowl?
The
Them
Rams' defense is good, but it is definitely not as strong as their offense. So I would say no. I think they're a great team, but I think that when you've got offenses that are look at other offenses that are probably going to be in the playoffs. You got Drew Brees and the Saints. The Bears' offense, which can do nice things, assuming they make the playoffs. We don't really know who's going to be out of the NFC East, but basically, I think there's going to be too many good offenses in the playoffs going against that Rams defense, which is still good but not the best. That'll ultimately prevent them from making the Super Bowl.
Who is the best coach in the league?
Best. That's
Hard
a
to
good
say,
question.
Because there's a lot of good teams. Are you basing it on like personality or like the best team in the
I
league?
mean, obviously, looking at historically, you got to go with Bill Belichick currently
Yeah.
because you look at how he wins Super Bowls, how he makes his team good on a regular basis, how he bounces back from losses and injuries and stuff like that. So that's kind of the
Wait,
his, yeah, there's a lot of questions there. That's kind of the historical best, like the veteran best. The one guy that I really liked, and I've watched some of his post-game interviews, I really seem to like Sean McVay. He seems to be connecting really well with his players. He seems to have really good relationship with his team, and obviously he's doing great things with his team. So I really think Sean McVay is going to be almost, in a sense, the next Bill Belichick. So give it to those two.
Will Jimmy Garoppolo be able to bounce back next year?
Absolutely. If he could recover well, I would say absolutely, because the 49ers are probably going to have a really high draft pick. So he'll have himself, Jarek McKinnon healthy, his receivers, Marquise Goodwin, Bernard Garcon, George Kittle's emerging, so he'll have the weapons. And before McKinnon and Garoppolo got hurt, I thought the 49ers were going to be a playoff team. Once they got hurt, not so much, but we'll see what happens. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be able to bounce back, and it looks like we got
Who
a
has the best wide receiver core in the league? And then, Will Wright, hello. Someone just said hello.
Well, hello to you.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
Who's the best wide receiver in the league? I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Wait, yeah, wrong.
best wide receiver in the league. Was it which team has the best wide receivers or the best wide receiver?
Who is the best wide receiver?
Hmm. You know, there's a lot of them up there, but I have to go with Antonio Brown. And it looks like we've got another question. So could you go see that, Jack? Question man? I think the best receiver has got to be Antonio Brown because I just think he can make plays, he's clutch, and he can say, oh, we got a lot there. Great to see.
Okay.
So I would
I'll
say
go on this
definitely
side to
Antonio
read.
Brown.
Sorry.
So what's the next
Question,
question? I'm trying to go rapid fire here.
Yes,
Jack,
Jack.
read.
Praise my fantasy players. Liam, is
Yes.
James Conner a Pro Bowl running back?
I would say absolutely because of the way everyone thought the Steelers were going to be significantly, like a significant loss with Le'Veon Bell. I think absolutely he's a Pro Bowl running back because of the way he was able to fill in for someone who was one of the league's top running backs. I think he's absolutely a Pro Bowl running back. He's done a great job kind of stealing the show from Le'Veon Bell to a point when it came down to it, the Steelers were like, is it even worth paying Le'Veon Bell anymore? Because James Conner was doing such a good job. So yes, he's definitely a Pro Bowl running back in my opinion, and I'll be voting for him.
Instead of looking at your phone for,
Jack, you can read.
Instead of looking at your phone for chat, open the stream on another device. Okay, so
I have both. I have the stream open and my phone, right? Because you have the stream open, right?
but I think he's saying, so on your phone you can like go on the stream and like read the chat from there. So
Okay, yeah, I can
So-
try and do that.
try and do that.
All right, more questions. What do we got
Liam, Bears or the Lions?
for the game tomorrow?
For the game tomorrow, yes.
I am going to say, I'm going to say Lions. The Bears are going to put up a tough fight, but now that they just lost Trubisky for that game, so yeah.
I would agree. I think that with Mitchell Trubisky out, I think that that's a huge factor for them because their offense really kind of runs through Mitchell Trubisky.
Yes.
And also another thing is the Bears played on Sunday night, and then they got to go on the road and play a Thursday day game. So it's a quick turnaround for them going on the road. So I think that'll really put them at a disadvantage. I think it'll be a close game. I think the the Bears defense will keep them in the game, but Matthew Stafford is the king, one of those guys who just has a knack for fourth quarter comebacks. I think he's gonna have another one in this one, and I think the Bears defense is gonna keep them in the game. I think it's gonna be a great game to watch. But I just think without Mitchell Trubisky, I think Detroit's going to pull one out. And that's the thing. Don't count Detroit out just yet because if they win, they're 5-6, and they can get back in. So I think I'm taking Detroit tomorrow. It might be a little. I don't know who the favorite is, but I'm taking Detroit. So Jack, want to go over your next questions while I try and pull it up?
Oh wait, Liam, what is your favorite NFL team?
What is my favorite NFL team? I don't know how many of you guys watching know this. I think I might have said it in one of my very early videos, but my favorite NFL team is the Houston Texans. I've been a Houston Texans fan since about 2014. I mean, circa, not exactly, but I know that's the first time I've been to one of their games, so I kind of use that date. They were just kind of the first team I've ever watched, so that's kind of how I developed an interest with them. It was probably the end of it was a playoff game against the Bengals, and I was asked to come down and watch a football game. I reluctantly came down. I was told to pick a team to root for. I picked them, and they won. And then it just kind of stuck, so that's kind of how it happened. So it was pretty funny, actually. But yeah, definitely the Texans, and I will say I'm really excited about what they've been doing. But in my picks and breakdowns and analysis, I am not biased. I say what I truly think. But yes, I am a Texans fan. Next question, Jack.
So I am saying that Bears are my favorite team. They ever have been for the whole time of my life, and they're having a good year.
Oh yeah, they are for sure, and I think that just go to the next question. I know we've got a lot of questions. That's great.
Yeah,
Jack,
we're
trying
trying
to
to
get to as many of you if I can. I mean, I know a lot of you are asking a lot, so I'll try and get to as many as I can. I'm really gonna do more of these. I like this. I mean, seeing all this pop up on my screen, I really like it.
Are
I
the
like
Chargers good enough to get to the AFC Championship?
I would say they are a good team, but they have not proven to me that they can beat enough quality teams on the road, and that's likely what they'd have to do. If they get to the AFC Championship, because they're probably not going to win the division, they could, but in my opinion, they probably won't. So I would say no, because they haven't proven to me that they can beat quality teams on the road, and that's what you need to do to advance in the playoffs when you're a wild card team, and that's likely what they're going to be. I think the Chargers can make the playoffs. I think they'll be probably the 5 seed or the 6 seed at least, make them as a wild card. But I just don't see them going beating Kansas City and Kansas City, or Houston and Houston, or New England and New England. So I think the Chargers are a playoff caliber team, but AFC Championship, I just think the road's too tough. Next question. Here, I'll do it.
I think you need to sign in on YouTube.
Next question.
Looks like we do not have any more questions. I'm just gonna...
Go double check.
Okay.
I'll be here, so feel free to contact me or type in.
Someone asked, what is this video about? If you've been watching for a while, this video is about football and football questions, and you guys could tell us football questions and we'll answer them. Liam again, favorite NBA team. We will not answer that.
Sure we will.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will. You know
No,
what?
we won't. Disrespect.
I mean,
It's football. It's football. We already said that.
okay. So what was the first one? We got to do one question at a time. So what was the first question?
What's NBA?
No, before that.
Chargers. Is it Chargers? Are the Chargers?
No, what was
good?
this channel about? What was the channel about? So this is just a NFL talk channel that I made a few years ago, a little bit over a year ago, and this video specifically is just about just talking football. Any questions you want me to answer? My opinion, fantasy, whatever it is. That's what this is about. So it's really just kind of it's about what you want to make it about, and the viewers want to make it about. And no one's asking anything. I could just bring something up. So that's what it's about. And then favorite NBA team is the Chicago Bulls. I don't watch the NBA that much, but if I pick a team, I'll pick the Bulls. Got anything else, Jack? Anything coming in? No, check people have messaged you, because that's how people are getting it.
Oh, sorry. Very sorry about this. Lamar Jackson or Joe Flacco?
Flacco?
Flacco. Oh my gosh, can't read.
I really think that for this year, definitely, I think after what Lamar Jackson showed us, I think they should go with Lamar Jackson, because you look at it and he's a new type of quarterback. Like, you've seen running type quarterbacks, but it's never come across where we've seen a quarterback get 100 rushing yards a game in his debut. So he's a new type of quarterback. The league hasn't fully seen him in the NFL yet. Joe Flacco, everyone has seen him for a while. They know his tendencies because he's a veteran. But I really think it's Lamar Jackson's time, and I think if the Ravens make the playoffs, it'll be through Lamar Jackson. We got another question. Go get it. Jack, question.
What should the sorry about this. what should the Bucks do about their quarterback controversy?
That is a very good question, and I'm a Texans fan, so I know a thing or two about quarterback controversies, whether it's Ryan Hoyer versus Ryan Mallett or Deshaun Watson versus Tom Savage. I really think the Buccaneers are probably going to have a fairly high draft pick, and Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston have been so inconsistent. Can you really trust either of them to be the face of your franchise for the future? Because Fitzpatrick's, I mean, he's older. Let's see how old is Fitzpatrick? How old is Ryan Fitzpatrick? Ryan Fitzpatrick is 35, so I don't really think he's the long-term solution for Tampa at quarterback. Well, Jameis Winston, we've seen some good, but we've seen a lot of bad on and off the field for the bad part. So I really think the Buccaneers, I think they should just play it out this year, go with whoever they think is the best option. But I think after this year, we could really see them kind of hit A, free agency, or B, go to the draft. Because if they have a high enough draft pick, they can try and get someone like Oregon's Justin Herbert, or Duke's Daniel Jones, or West Virginia's Will Greer. I think it's draft or free agency. I don't think we're going to see Jameis or Fitzpatrick as the long-term solution for this Tampa franchise.
And last question. No, Liam, we do not want to play Super Smash Bros. And we don't have a Switch. Who is the worst team in the NFL right now? Tails 10.
You know, it's so hard to judge because you've got to take a lot of things into account when looking at the record. You've got to say who was hurt, who they played, what were their games like. But I kind of think about that because I think it's either San Francisco, Oakland, or Arizona, and I gotta give it to Oakland because, well, I shouldn't say give it. Because it's not something you want. You got another question. But I gotta say Oakland because the 49ers, they were injured. The Cardinals, they had a iffy quarterback situation. They've got a couple rookies centering their offense. But I gotta give it to the Raiders because they planned for Derek Carr to be their guy. They planned for Amari Cooper to be their guy, but they traded Amari Cooper because they weren't contending. So they thought they had the pieces to contend, but it just didn't work out. So they're kind of in a weird spot because this is not where they expected to be. They expected to be a playoff team. I thought they were going to be a playoff team, but that's not the case. So I got to give it to the Raiders. And Jack, what's our next question? Oh wait, one more for the Raiders because another question I had earlier was what should the Raiders draft strategy be? I think it's just draft the best guy available because when you have needs all around, that's sometimes just what you have to do. I think they should stick with Derek Carr, especially after how much money they're paying him. So I think just draft the best guy available, whether that's Ohio State's Nick Bosa, younger brother of Joey Bosa, who's currently on the Chargers, whether that's Houston's Ed Oliver, whether it's a cornerback, cornerback DeAndre Baker, or whoever it is, just draft the best player available. That's not a quarterback, is my advice to Oakland. Because you don't need a quarterback. You have Derek Carr, and Derek Carr said earlier today, he's like, I'm not going to tank. He's going to play out this season, or paraphrase, he's going to play out this season, and he's going to try and win some games. And I would admire that. So, Jack, what's our next question?
It is, what do you think is the most improved team this season from last season?
Most improved. There's definitely someone's up there, but I got to give it to the Houston Texans because last season they were 4-12. They're already at last in their division. Right now they're 7-3 and winning their division, and it's due to the fact that they're healthy. Because you look at it, Deshaun Watson's back making plays. You got DeAndre Hopkins finally with the franchise quarterback, so he could have the best season yet and finish out the season crazy. He added veteran receiver Demaryius Thomas, promising young rookie Kiki Cutie, along with Lamar Miller, who's finally having solid games on the ground behind an improving offensive line. Their defense is healthy, and it's not just J.J. Watt. It's other guys like Clowney, Merciless, DJ Reader, and also new addition Tyrann Mathieu, the safety, and also Justin Reed, the rookie, who had a pick six in the Texans last week against the Redskins. So I know I said I'm just a Texans fan, but again, I keep my biasness completely out of my analysis. Texans have improved a lot. Next question.
Which team? Wait, hold on. Sorry. Which team did the best in this year's draft? So, which team did you think drafted the best people? I think.
Oh, that's a good one. I gotta think about that because that was a while ago. You want to ask that one?
Tails 10.
Okay, that's a good one there. You know, the Browns kind of shocked us, but hmm, I I mean, obviously, if I had more time to think about this, I could definitely jot it down. But I think we should look at what Bradley Chubb and Cortland Sutton have done for the Broncos, because getting Cortland Sutton in the second round was, in my opinion, a steal. And you look at it, and it's like that allowed them to trade away Demarius Thomas, essentially. So that gave them more flexibility. And Bradley Chubb was another steal, which how the Browns passed on him at number 4, I have no idea. But I'm gonna give it to the Broncos because I feel like their rookies are already making impacts, while some other ones it takes a little bit.
Okay, next question, who is the rookie of the year?
Does it say offensive or defensive?
It just said rookie of the year. Who do you think is the rookie of the year?
Well, for offensive, I think it's got to be Saquon Barkley because he's one of the few positives of a. What? Okay. No, I got it. Okay. What was the question again? I completely was on that.
Who's the rookie of the year?
It's got to be Saquon Barkley for the offensive side because he's just making plays, even though he's on a not so great team. He's one of the few bright spots. He's athletic, and he made an immediate impact. That's what you need to do to be rookie of the year. You can't just ease into it, have a little bit in week 1, a little bit in week. You have to make immediate impact. Saquon did that for his team. Not quite enough to make him playoff contender, but he's doing what he's doing. Some runner-ups I think could really be Calvin Ridley because I think that he's had some down games, but we've also seen a lot of positives from him. And then I think Cortland Sutton will finish out the season very strong, and I think he'll make a late case.
Okay. And we have some more questions.
Jack, can you repeat the message you? Oh, sure. 1 second while I go get some more questions I've had. Okay.
Very sorry about this. We should have had questions prepared, but it's kind of
We do
live.
have questions prepared. I'm trying to find some. So, Jack, you got anything? Alright, so I know, hopefully we got all of your questions. I have my brother Jack kind of manning all our questions. We're not done yet, but I just want to say sorry if you missed your question. We'll try and get back to it as soon as we can and answer it in the next video.
Yeah. I have a
You have-
question. From Luca. Who do you think is going to bring home the Super Bowl win out of teams? Who do you think?
Well, was that for you or is that for me? I think if he's asking you, it's for you, so why don't you share with us? My prediction video is already out. I think we should share with you.
I think the Rams. I feel like the Rams and the Patriots maybe, or no, Rams and the Chiefs, as they played last Monday night.
Yes, Washington picked me a Super Bowl preview. You
yeah.
want one?
Yes, I am. It was a very close game.
Who wins that Super Bowl? If it's Rams Chiefs, who wins?
It'd be very close, but I feel like it'd have to be the Rams.
So you-
They've just been phenomenal.
I mean, they really have. I mean, we've already talked about them. So Jack has the Rams beating the Chiefs in Super Bowl 53. I think that's very possible. We'll see if we have any more questions. Jack, why don't you just go double check the stream one more time? Make sure there's nothing we missed. If we do miss something, we will certainly get back to it in future videos.
We just have till 10.
What?
Look at your phone. Look at questions on your phone.
What questions on my phone?
Do you have Snapchat?
No.
Till 10. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We don't really know what you're talking
Yeah, we'll
about.
look at it. So Jack, what questions do you have for me in the meantime?
Till 10 said we had a bunch of questions before.
Well, we did. I tried to get to some of them, but I can't get to all of them, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
we're on a time limit here. So
not really, but it's fine.
kind of, because I have to balance it out. So I tried to get to some of them if those are the early ones we're talking about. But definitely, this won't be the last live stream we'll ever do. I really like doing this.
Yeah, these
So
are
it
really
definitely won't be
fun.
the last. So Jack, what questions did you have while we're waiting for some more to come in?
Basically, who do you
really think for the Packers, I really think that Aaron Rodgers is a huge impact to that team. Not only because he's good, but because
He motivates people.
yeah, and as long as they have Aaron Rodgers healthy, or even with a sprained leg or whatever in week 1,
Yeah.
as long as they have him back there on the field, it gives the team the sense that they have a chance. Because he beat the Bears essentially on one leg in opening week, and that's why I'm saying don't count this Packers team out yet. Because as long as they have Aaron Rodgers, they feel that they're still in it, and they really are. I mean, they're 4-5-1, so it's not like they're completely out of it. They're down, but they're not out.
So, do you have any questions that you're thinking of? Or?
I just this has really been great. I've really
Yeah.
really loved doing this. So, what game tomorrow do you think is going to, or no, which player tomorrow in any of the 3 games do you think is going to have the biggest impact in their game? No, wait, we'll go game by game. So, Bears Lions, which player has the biggest impact? Oh, you thought you had the Lions winning.
I know, but like,
You think Khalil Mack can keep the game close?
yes.
I think Matthew Stafford's gonna have the biggest
On
impact tomorrow. Because as I said, Matthew Stafford's gonna have another 4-quarter comeback tomorrow. Redskins, Cowboys. Who has the biggest impact in that game?
Um, I don't know many players. Dak Prescott,
Why do you say that?
because he's on Dallas.
Yeah, okay. Jack struggled with that one. But one thing is, I think the Cowboys running game is gonna be huge tomorrow, and I think that game is really huge tomorrow because it shows us if the Redskins can truly do anything with Colt McCoy. And I think tomorrow's gonna be tough because like Colt McCoy is starting on the road on 4 days' notice. That's not gonna be easy, and I think that's why the Cowboys will take this game. But I think the key is gonna be Ezekiel Elliott doing his job on the ground. And then lastly, Atlanta at New Orleans. I mean, we got another question. Atlanta at New Orleans because
Best
Jack
player at each position. So,
Who said that?
Jordan.
Okay, best player at each position in the league. We'll get to that right after this.
We just want to say to you guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are enjoying that, but don't make it sound like we're done yet. We've got a lot
Yeah.
yet. And then Falcons Saints, I really think Alvin Kamara is going to be key. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a really big game, and I think he's going to have a lot more carries than Mark Ingram in that game because I just think that's what they're going to do. You know, that's just what they're going to do. Also expect Calvin Ridley to do big things for the Falcons. He's kind of been silent for the last week. Same with Julio Jones. I expect a high-scoring, firepower game.
Firepower.
And I think the Falcons they really need that one because if they lose, they're 4-7. So the Falcons absolutely need this one. You need it if you're Atlanta. You need it, as Tony Romo would say. So Atlanta needs this one. Are they going to get it? I don't think so, but they're going to put up a heck of a fight.
Yeah.
And then what was the next question? Best player at each position?
Yeah, so that's pretty hard because there are a lot of positions and a lot of teams.
Well, we'll start with quarterback.
we could probably do like a whole video on that.
Yeah, I'll make it quick.
We could do it like a separate video.
Best QB in the league. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. Best running back in the league. Close but ran running back Todd Gurley. Best wide receiver in the league.
Who's close between Tom Brady?
Kamara and Kareem Hunt. Best wide receiver is got to be Antonio Brown. Best tight end, I'd say Gronk, but I just haven't seen enough of him this year. Yeah,
Not this year, but like he's been phenomenal.
I really like what I've seen from.
throughout all the years he's been
Yeah, I
playing,
think
actually.
I really like what I've seen from Travis Kelce this year. I'll give him the honor for that. And then what I do. Okay, so that's and then
Instead of doing
best defense I already said was the Saints.
yes,
And
so
best kicker. I mean, I'm not looking at stats here, but just someone who I feel is.
I'm not sure if this is. I think this is the Rams or the Saints kicker. He's only missed one extra point attempt throughout the whole season, and I think that is just great. Like,
Oh, you're talking about Justin Tucker, right?
yeah.
So I think Justin Tucker is one of the best kickers. Yeah, but I mean, if your kicker's on bye in fantasy, you have to drop the kicker and pick up another kicker. So what happens? But I think Justin Kicker's the best kicker because I think he's consistent. Like he just missed the first extra point of his career about a month ago. That says something, and he's clutch. I'd either give it to him or Adam Vinatieri. Both great kickers.
Okay. Any other positions?
I don't know, but we'll have to see. Probably gonna start wrapping things up here. This has gone
Yes.
great.
It's
Been like 35 minutes.
So we'll probably just keep going for a few more minutes.
Still, sadly, we only have one person watching.
Hey, you know what?
That
I'm
stinks.
glad. I'm glad.
I'm glad we even got up to 4 people.
Yeah, did we get up to 5 at one point? I think we did. So, unless anything comes in last minute, this is probably gonna be it. This
Yeah.
this was a great success. Thank you guys for
Thank you.
watching, submitting your questions.
yeah.
If we didn't get to all your questions or your questions,
I'm very
do
sorry.
not worry because we're gonna be doing a lot more of these.
Yes.
And even if we just do regular videos, we will still try and get back to those. If we start a new video, we'll be like, oh, by the way, a question to get into because I love doing this.
Yeah,
Jack
this
loves
is
doing
really
this.
fun.
But I mean, oops, we're not gonna be doing this for like an hour straight because we know people don't
Yeah.
want to watch that one.
Yeah.
But
We just want to say thank you and thank you, happy Thanksgiving, and subscribe and turn the notification bell on, and you will get a shout out in the next video or live stream.
Jack, we're not one of your British Minecraft YouTubers.
What?
So that pretty much wraps it up. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you for your questions. If we didn't get to all of yours or any of yours, I'm sorry, but we
Sorry.
will be back, so do not worry. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Enjoy the Thanksgiving football games.